All right, we will try this again. I tried to do a Facebook Live with my new switcher thing, and computer was not having it apparently. So I'm gonna try this again. It's not a long podcast, so we'll do what we need to do and just persevere. Okay, so the thing I started with was this beautiful yarn from Annie. She and I became friends on Instagram, and I didn't even know she was dyeing yarn at the time, but she said, I'm going to start doing it again. And would you want to have it in your shop? And I knew that she had a great sense of color just from her Instagram. So I said, absolutely, let's do it. And so we've done 3 different orders, I think, so far. And I mean, everyone has been better than the last. So the ones we got in, I don't even know where to start because they're all so pretty. So we got DK and sock both. And I'm in love with these because they're just so Easter and springy and lovely. I mean, look at those. Aren't those gorgeous colors? So these are all DK. I can totally see some kind of a fade or something in these, a cute little shrug or something for when as the weather warms up. Gorgeous. These are on the website, yarntexas.com. Also, we got some gorgeous sock yarn too. I think this is my favorite. I don't know. There's something about the tonal color. I would love to do this with maybe a pink toe and heel, or orange, because orange and blue is my favorite. So I think that so pretty. All right, my computer is just fighting with me today. And then y'all, you purple lovers, look at this. And this is pretty good, because you never know if the color that you see on screen, what I'm seeing on my screen is pretty close to what it is in real life. And I love that little touch of blue in there with the lighter. Just so pretty. That's sock. And can you imagine this with, like some bright green toes and heels? Awesome. And then I love this too. Pretty in pink. It's so 80s with the pink and the black. I mean, and again, lime green for the toes and heels, and this would be unbelievable. It would be so apropos for pretty in pink. So anyway, again, those are available on yarntexas.com, along with, I've got pretty much all the yarn up. I mean, there's just one random here and there. But so if you need something, let me know. Also, a couple of the companies that we carry have started doing drop shipping. And I'm going to figure out how to make that work for us. So what that means is if you see something they have that you want to order, you can order through me, but they will drop ship it from the company directly to you. So that's a pretty cool deal. So Earth Yarns is doing that, and Barocco is doing that. So I'm going to figure that out for today and get that as an option. And by the way, the newsletter goes out tonight. Actually, it goes out in the morning. I'm doing it today, but it goes out in the morning, and hopefully I will be able to have that information in the newsletter. So, okay, so that's the highlight yarn. Okay, so I want to show you what I finished a couple of days ago. And yes, I worked my tail off. There was something about this project that I just, move this stuff out of the way, I just couldn't put it down, but it wasn't because I was loving the yarn. I don't know. Anyway, I will show you what I got here. So my husband went to Los Angeles in February for work. And again, I'm getting dripped on like I did before. So this is literally just off the mats, and it's still a little bit wet in places. And so I got my towel and I'm kind of squeegeeing it so that I don't get dripped on. But he went to Los Angeles, Ventura, that's where it was. I was trying to think of the name of where he was, and I couldn't think of it earlier. And, of course, when your husband goes somewhere else, you're like, well, go hit the yarn shops for me, right? And so I've got my little holder up there for my switcher, and it's bugging me. Okay. He FaceTime shopped with me in a shop in Ventura that had this humongous ball of Noro Ito, which is a worsted 400 and something yards. I mean, huge amount of yarn. It was this, literally the ball was this big. And I'd never done anything with that before, and I thought the colors were gorgeous. I was like, get that. That's the one. And it's something we don't have any here. It's something completely different. And that's what I always do when he goes somewhere else and buys something for me. I always say, get me something completely different than what I have in here, and I can try some new things out. And then I can carry them if I think they're great for us. This is not great for us. The colors, I have to say the colors are incredible. And here, I'll hold this up. Colors I love the colors. It's again, this one is not being done justice. It's even more beautiful and tonal and all this stuff in real life. It's just the colors are beautiful. The yarn itself is not my favorite. It is a worsted single ply, and it's sort of a thick and thin. It's technically worsted, but there are some let's see if I can find one of the thicker places in here. There's a few places that it was barely even spun. Yeah, of course now I can't find one when I'm looking for one. But here's one like right here. You can see how much thicker that is right there. Which normally I'm cool with, but for some reason this was it was not a joy to work with at all. It was not very rough, but it was a bit rough. And hence that's why I chose this pattern, because I didn't want it to be all around my neck and up in my face. I knew it was going to be a little rougher, but it really proved to be that. Now this is just going to be like a poncho capelet kind of a thing. So it's, when it's cold out, it's going to be perfect and I'm going to love it. But I just wasn't excited about this yarn, which is really sad because it really is pretty. So hence we will probably not, see there's another really thick spot right there. We will not be having this in the shop. Not my favorite, but I do like how it turned out. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, the designer of this sweet little capelet is Dawn Ortega. And I'll see if I can, it's not a very good printout picture, but that is Dawn. Dawn was here for Yellow Rose on the Coast. And she's an amazing teacher, and I wasn't specifically looking for her pattern. It just happened. So it was kind of a sweet little serendipity moment that I did her pattern, and it was really well written, easy to follow, all that good stuff. So, and it was one of those. It's called the Simple Shoulder Cozy. It's one of those patterns that you just put in your own measurements, and it's really easy to figure out, and it just grows as you go. So it was awesome that way. So mixed feelings about that. All right, so and as I've got drips all over me, I guess I need to put it back down on the mat. Okay, so the next thing, I'm going to show you what I've got in process. And whoops, as I drop everything. Okay, this Annie, who just sent the new dies. She also does a sock monthly club, and I thought, okay, that'd be fun. I've never done a sock or a monthly club before like that, and I thought it'd be kind of fun and something just for me that's not for the shop that I don't have to leave on the shelf because I have a hard time with that. But so I started in February, and this was the first month, this lovely pink color. And I just think it's so pretty. And again, it's hard to see, but you can see it's got some green in there. It's got the pale pink, creamy. It's got a little bit of yellows and golds in there too. Real subtle, but just gorgeous. And this pattern is called Rizumu. I think I've talked about it before, but it's called sequence knitting, and I'm just in love with this. Sequence knitting is something, it just really... I just think it's interesting because it's so simple, but yet it's so simple. Sorry, I just got a text and anyway, so it's so simple, but you get such a cool effect. And the other yarn is something that I've had in my stash for a long time. I bought this very early on when I was knitting. I'm at least 6 or 7 years ago, at least. But it is by Yarn Baby. And I know that's backwards, but at least you get an idea. And when I saw the pink of Annie's yarn, I was like, oh, I have that yarn. So I knew these would work really well together, because what you do is you knit the first section with the one yarn, and then you do the contrasting out. The rest of the shawl is going to be this contrasting color. So I've still got a little ways to go on that, but I'm really loving it. And it's if you have a chance to do that pattern, it's a great way to use up 2 funky sock skeins too, that either really go together or just kind of go together. I mean, I love doing all those little odd colorways put together. Okay, so there's that. What else am I got on my list here? Okay, so the other thing I wanted to talk about is the brioche knit along, because yesterday was the day to cast on, and you know, I mean, who knows what day it is at this point, but yesterday was the day, and I totally blanked it out. I mean, like, it was not even on my mind, and then somebody said something about it, and I was like, oh, I totally forgot. So bad. Anyway, so we are participating in the we are participating in the brioche knit along with Euphoria Knits. Janessa started this, and she has a group on Ravelry that talks about it too. You can post, you know, your projects and how far along you are, what yarn you're using, all that good stuff. It was in the newsletter last time, and I will post it again in the one going out to you in the morning. But I have to start mine now because I totally forgot to cast on yesterday. I am going to do the Sizzle Pop shawl by Knit Graffiti by Leslie Ann. She lives really close here. Sorry, somebody's texting me. Okay. She lives really close by, so I love that we get to do a locals pattern, and she's just adorable too. So that helps even more. Now, I did cast on her Dottie Jane probably about a month and a half ago. And then I got hooked on the Noro thing and got, you know, the pink and all. Anyway, got totally distracted. And plus it's not the right time to cast on, you know, a month and a half ago anyway. So I'm going to keep that put aside and do the Sizzle Pop. And it's two skeins of sock as well. And I'm going to use these two together. I love greens. When Victoria from Wonderluck Fibers was here, let's see if we can go see her. 3 weeks ago maybe now, for the trunk show, right before all this craziness shut us all down. And I got this from her, and I'm sorry to say I do not have the label on this one, so, but they look so pretty together. This was just in my stash, so I really wanted to do it with that. And I love the light and the dark. It's going to be perfect for that Sizzle Pop shawl. So that's that. I think that's really all that's going on, like big project wise. I'm really working hard to keep up with you virtually. So of course we do our Zoom happy hour and our Zoom sit and stitch. I'm trying really hard to go live pretty much every day. With a little project or a how-to or something every single day. And I tried today, but it was an epic fail. But that's okay. We will persevere and go on tomorrow. There's the Wi-Fi in here is really subpar. So that may be what's going on. I don't know. It's still giving me fits, so I'm doing it this way instead. Okay. So the next thing. Oh yeah. Okay. So we are at home. We are doing lots of knitting. But maybe you need a little break, because truthfully, when I got finished with the capelet, this thing, I needed a break because I really hit that hard until it was done. Because I just, frankly, I didn't want to do it anymore. And so I needed a break from knitting. My wrist was getting tired and all that stuff. So I'm also a sewer. And in the past couple of years, I've really taken to hand sewing. I do have a machine. I'm pretty good on it. I've been sewing for a long time now. Did a whole bunch of masks for a customer that works in a healthcare office. And I will probably make some more. But when I do sewing, for me, I would rather take my time and do it by hand. And I can really slow down and make it as meditative as knitting when I want to. And plus I can add little details that I couldn't otherwise add with a machine. So I'm going to show you the one I'm working on right now. Now this fabric was just some fun fabric I found at a garage sale years ago. Again, it was in my stash and I couldn't part with it. and it's cotton. It's 100% cotton. So I'm doing a sewing class, or I was, with my homeschool co-op. And the girls decided, because that's all that was in this class was girls, the girls decided they wanted to do clothes. Excuse me. And so I said, sure. So I found this pattern that is so easy. What did I do with the pattern? I've set it aside here. Here it is. No? Well, what did I do with it? Oh, it's on the floor. One sec. So I found this pattern, and I'd seen it on Instagram, but I'd never looked into it past this. But I did, and it's so easy. Y'all, if you're a beginning sewer, this is the way to do it. It's called the 100 Acts of Sewing, and it's shirt number 1. The pieces are two exactly the same pieces cut out. It doesn't take very much fabric either. And then once you get the arms and the side seams sewn together, you cut the front to, if you want a scoop shape or you want a V-neck. Now I did a V-neck, and you'll see this shirt looks really big. I've not trimmed it down. I did trim down, I did shape it a little bit, but it's flowy. If I were to do, I am going to do another one, but it needs to be fabric that is a bit flowy because it's shapeless, and so it needs to hang nicely. This one is not that great, but I will wear it just because it'll be fun and comfortable. But you can see, I cut this down. You see, what you do is you just, you fold it like that and cut, and it's done. Now what I did was I tried it on first, and I figured out I wanted it to be that low and gave myself a little room to work with, because I think I wanted it about there. So I've got a little bit of room to sew it under and all that good stuff. But I'm doing some details that I really think are fun. Like, instead of serging the raw edges, I folded them under. And then I've done a decorative stitch on top. And then also the hems are going to be a different color. Now, this is 2 reasons. First of all, I just think it's fun. But also, when I do teach the girls how to do it, they'll be able to see this is exactly what we're doing because it's a different color. And they can see the stitches. This is how we're doing the hems because they're right there. They're obvious. So if you do need a little break from knitting, pick a simple shirt pattern, skirt pattern. Skirts would work really well for this too. I'm not really a skirt wearer, so I don't really do those. But this is a great one. This, you cannot download this. It only comes in paper, which is kind of a bummer, but because I like downloading because you get them instantly, but it didn't take them very long to ship it to me. And it wasn't very expensive. And you can do it over and over and over again with really not a lot of fabric. So it's not, not a huge investment. And, I've been talking about a capsule wardrobe. This would be a great way to start for the summer. Do yourself some cute little tops that you've made yourself that, if something happens to them, you can fix them. I mean, that's a cool way to think about it. So if we help ourselves with a little DIY and figure out how to do some of these things, then, when crazy times like this come along, we are much more able to deal with it. So, okay. The other thing, so you guys know that I'm all about being well. And again, in this time, that's crucial. You need to support your health every single day. That being said, sometimes you get headaches. Sometimes your neck is a little stiff, whatever. And we've heard in the news, don't take ibuprofen because that increases the multiplication rate of the virus. So try and stay away from ibuprofen if you can. Excuse me. So I wanted to show you what I do when I do have a headache. I use peppermint. And the cool thing about this is, First of all, it smells amazing. But you can do this straight on. Now, if you're real sensitive skin, you can put it with a carrier oil like coconut oil or jojoba oil. Jojoba is the best for your skin because it's not oily on your skin. But any of them are fine. You can even use olive oil if you don't have anything else. I mean, it's going to smell different, but it's useful. Okay, so what I do is I take one drop and I put it over here, and I take a second drop and I put it on this side, and I make sure it goes all the way to my temples, and I do make sure that it goes up into my hairline and that there's no drips. Do not touch your face after this. The other thing I do is I take a drop and I put it on the back of my neck. If it's warm outside, that is an automatic cooling, well, not automatic, but it takes like 30 seconds, but it will start to make you feel cooler too. Like if you touch your eye after this, I've done it. It's not pleasant, but it doesn't last for very long, and it doesn't hurt. It's just really uncomfortable for a couple minutes and then it goes away. So, but if you are putting this on your face and then you are getting ready to, wash I don't know, whatever else you're going to do, just wash your hands and then it's not so bad. But, I use this. I always use this when I have a headache, first. If it's not lessened by using this, then I will consider doing something else. But most of the time I can get away with just the peppermint. And then I feel great because I didn't put any of those harsh chemicals in my body. The other thing you can do with this, we're talking about it's getting warmer. Get a small spray bottle and put in, fill it up with water and put in, say, 4 or 5 drops of peppermint. And again, good peppermint oil. Don't get the stuff in the grocery store or Walmart or whatever. If you need some peppermint oil, get in contact with me, Susan@yarntexas.com, because I don't want you to put that cheap chemical stuff on your body. Anyway, so spray bottle, fill it up with water, 4 or 5 drops of peppermint oil, shake it up, and then spray it like on the back of your neck, or if you're outside and you're hot, spray it on your legs or your arms, and it is a great cooling sensation. It really feels good. You'll smell really good too. And it's a great way to not use gross stuff, on your body. Anyway, so that's what I use to help with my headaches, and it really does work. Okay, so hopefully you all are staying well and taking care of yourselves in this just the nuttiest time we've ever all been in. So crazy. I'm here for you if you need anything. I'm here if you need a new project. Even if it's stash yarn and you're like, I don't know how does this work together or whatever. I'm here, Susan at Yarn Texas. The best way to get me probably is to message me on Instagram or Facebook. Either one is fine. Facebook, Yarn Texas Facebook, sometimes I miss those messages, but I'm usually pretty good about going back and checking and make sure I didn't miss anybody. So if it's like the next day and you haven't heard from me yet, it's just because I forgot to check, but I will check. So, all right. So hopefully you all are knitting away, crocheting away, sewing away. Yeah, having a good day. I don't know how this is going to go from here, but we're going to all be okay, and we're all going to hang in there, and we're going to have some amazing finished objects at the end of this. So I will talk to you tomorrow.